Have you ever been told you just need more discipline? It's one of the most common pieces of advice in self-improvement circles, and let's be honest, it's not wrong. Discipline is powerful. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the structure that helps you practice your craft, save money, build habits, and resist distractions. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes, discipline stops being your ally and starts being your prison guard. At first, it feels like freedom. You finally have control. You wake up early, you stick to your plan, you see progress. But somewhere along the way, without even realizing it, the thing that was supposed to make you free ends up locking you inside a schedule so tight, so rigid, that life itself starts to feel smaller. I'm not here to tell you discipline is bad. It's not. I'm here to tell you that discipline has a point of diminishing returns. And if you don't see it coming, it can kill the very joy, creativity, and energy you were trying to protect in the first place. When you're starting out in anything, a new fitness routine, a business, a creative project, discipline is essential. It's the thing that gets you moving when motivation isn't there. It's what carries you past the first wave of enthusiasm when the honeymoon period ends. Think about learning to play an instrument. At first, it's awkward. Your fingers hurt. You can't find the right notes. Your rhythm is off. But discipline, showing up to practice every day, transforms that chaos into skill. In this stage, discipline feels like a superpower. You're proving to yourself that you can do hard things, but there's a subtle shift that happens over time. The very structure that helped you grow becomes the thing you're afraid to step outside of. I once knew a guy, a brilliant writer, who woke up every day at 5 a.m., wrote for 3 hours, then went for a run. No exceptions. He said it made him feel alive. But after a few years, something changed. His friends stopped inviting him out because he never broke his schedule. His writing lost its spark. Every piece felt predictable, like it had been produced by a machine, and he couldn't bring himself to skip a day because deep down, he was terrified that if he did, the whole structure would collapse. He wasn't free anymore. He was trapped. It's not that discipline is bad, it's that it can harden into identity. You stop asking, what do I need right now? And start asking, what does my routine say I should do right now? Over time, that mindset makes you ignore your body's signals, your creative impulses, even your relationships. You might think you're being strong, but you're actually avoiding flexibility, which is just as important as persistence. Philosophy has warned us about this. Nietzsche once wrote about how the most disciplined person can become a prisoner of his own morality, locked inside a system of his own making. The Taoist tradition has a similar warning. The concept of Wu Wei, effortless action, suggests that life works best when we align with its flow, not when we try to micromanage every drop of it. Even in the military, the ultimate example of structured discipline, the best soldiers know that adaptability can be the difference between success and disaster. Imagine a jazz musician. When they first start out, they drill scales, practice chord progressions, study music theory. That's discipline, building the foundation. But the magic of jazz isn't in the scales. It's in the improvisation. It's in hearing something unexpected and leaning into it. If that musician refuses to deviate from the sheet music, they might be precise, but they'll never be alive in the music. Your life works the same way. The scales, the disciplined habits, are there to give you the freedom to improvise. If you never step off the sheet, you miss the point. There's another, more human side to this. Relationships. People who over-discipline themselves often isolate without realizing it. A rigid schedule leaves no space for spontaneous conversations, unexpected adventures, or just sitting down with someone because the moment calls for it. You can build a body of steel and a career of gold and still find yourself alone at the top, wondering, why it feels hollow. So how do you know if your discipline has turned into a cage? Here are a few red flags. You feel anxious or guilty if you miss a routine, even for a good reason. You avoid trying new approaches because they don't fit your current system. Your progress feels mechanical instead of exciting. You're more focused on maintaining your streak than on your actual growth. If any of those sound familiar, you're not failing. You're just ready for the next stage. Think of discipline like the scaffolding on a building. You need it to construct the structure, but once the building can stand on its own, the scaffolding has to come down. Otherwise, you can't live in it. In practice, this means learning to intentionally break your own rules from time to time. Not because you're lazy, but because you're choosing to trust yourself without the rigid guardrails. It's saying, I usually wake up at 5, but tonight I'm staying out late with friends, because connection matters too. It's skipping a gym day to go hiking instead, because movement and joy are not enemies. It's changing your writing location, your workout type, your meditation practice, so that your discipline stays alive, not frozen. At the start, go all in on discipline. Make it non-negotiable until the habit sticks. But the moment you feel stable, start allowing micro-flexibility. The habit is already in your bones. It won't vanish if you breathe. If your discipline is killing your curiosity, that's a problem. If you're snapping at people who interrupt your routine, that's a problem. Use these as cues to soften the structure. Breaking a routine isn't failure. It's a test of whether you've internalized the habit. Guilt has no place here. Awareness does. Ask, why am I making this choice today? If the reason is intentional, it's the right choice. When you start balancing discipline with flexibility, something amazing happens. Your discipline stops feeling like a chain around your neck and starts feeling like a tool you can pick up and put down when you need it. You become more responsive to life, more present in relationships, and ironically, you become more resilient. Because now, when life throws you off your schedule, and it will, you won't panic. You'll adapt. And so, we return to the question we started with. What would your life look like if you stopped outsourcing your sense of meaning? If you stopped treating purpose like something you must stumble upon in a book, a career, or a single defining moment, and instead started crafting it from the raw material of your days? Purpose isn't found, it's forged. It's the small, deliberate acts that align with your values, repeated until they carve a groove so deep you can't help but walk in it. It's not always glamorous. Sometimes it's saying no to the easy thing. Sometimes it's showing up when nobody's watching. We've been sold the idea that purpose comes in a lightning strike. The truth, it comes in the steady glow of a lantern you carry yourself. And the moment you realize that, you stop waiting for the world to hand you meaning, and you start giving meaning to the world.